Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we begin with this in transit, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kabadash, the honors to the apostles, the elders, accurate, those known who do well and teach well, and are the true leaders of Israel today. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And you Akim, man, you brothers pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth with all truth and sincerity, making your calling and elections from an shalom, shalom. And this is going to be an in-transit going into how I can see, First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, play out, that thief. And that's how we're going to take Jake and, and not the elect, man, or the watchmen, right? The prophets, really, the elect. Because it goes on, just to quote it, it says that, yea, brethren are not in darkness, that thief should overtake you as a thief, right? Because what us Akim, we're paying attention to the times, we're seeing the prophecies, we're seeing how close we are to, the Lord's return, and really, Jacob's trouble, because remember, before the Lord returns, she has to hit the fan, all right? And so with that being said, we're actually paying attention to these times. We're actually paying attention to the prophecies and things that are happening. Case in point, the one thing that I seen that was really major, that, Jake in the world really just has no clue. And the reason I say this is because, I have a softball team for my shop, and I also play soccer with some buddies in the world, and they have no clue what's going on, bro. They're just living day to day, and they're just seeing the next thing. They're cool people. I don't hang out with just Jake that's just downright crazy, or just straight left-handed. Nah, man. Just play soccer or play softball. We go to the gym, get something to eat here and there, whatever, right? And nonetheless, they're good people, just that good in the sense of, if you're talking to them, say what's up to them, these guys are just, they're chill, they just work, do their thing, and work out, drink here and there, and just hang out. Nothing crazy, right? But the thing is that they don't know what's getting ready to come down the pipeline, man. They don't know what's truly happening, in a biblical sense, and this is why the scripture is likened unto this, the Holy Spirit, man, as having eye salve, right? Because we can see the times, we can see the end, we can see the prophecies, right? And DJ Trump had just signed over a digital currency bill, which we understand that, and I'm not too really hip to it to begin with. I don't really do too much research on it at all, but we understand that in order for the charagma to be made manifest, the mark of the beast, Revelations, the 13th chapter. We need to, make cash obsolete and bring in a digital currency, okay? And that's happening right now. So, they're signing it right now and everything. So, as it goes to show you, man, that we're at the end of this thing, man, and that we're getting ready to come into, some serious times, some heavy times, like no time ever before. Jeremiah 30:7. And Jake is just out here, oblivious, just living life, chilling, not even necessarily chilling, man. They're going through their own little, as the scriptures say, man, they're going through their own little tribulations and hell because of their sins and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they don't have the truth. We go through our hell and our temptations and tribulations, but we're in the ministry, man. We're fighting, right? We're not necessarily just going through this just to go through it, right? So the thing, with that being said, though, is, man, that Jake just has no clue what's really happening, bro. And nonetheless, it's a beautiful thing because you can't count Jake out either, man. The 1/3 is a great multitude. They're friends of the prophets. These are Jake that are gonna. This is Jake that's gonna see to believe. Yes, believe it or not, there's gonna be some Jakes that the only way they're gonna be able to wake up is if they see. Right, like in the book of Acts, they had to see a miracle in order for them to believe. And even then, man, believe it or not, you can have Jake that's gonna see miracles coming into the times of Jacob's trouble, and they're still gonna say, nah, man, these guys ain't the man of the Lord. They're doing witchcraft, right? How they told you how it's shy, he's doing it by the power of Beelzebub, which is Satan. So yeah, we're gonna be fucking feeding and eating and being good in Jacob's trouble through via miracles, and you have Jake still calling us demons and so on and so forth, which is fine, man. At the end of the day, that's their judgment. But then again, to the point, hey, man, Jake is gonna get caught off guard bad, bro. Us brothers, man, we're seeing the end be made. Look at the gas went up right now. Gas has been going up gradually here in my town. It's a city, but I consider it a town, man. It's small, man. Just less than, I think, 300,000, 200,000 people, man. Really small, city. Really small to be considered a city, right? But nonetheless, man, yeah. It's just, I was meditating on that, man, how, Jake is really oblivious to what's going on in the world, and how they're not really paying attention. They're just too worried about, cares of the world and things that are happening in the world. And don't get me wrong, man, as a brother in the ministry, man, at times, I get carried away, and, it happens, bro, but we fight it. But hey, I just reached my destination. I was gonna make this 5-minute quick in transit. That's how long they told me it was gonna be to get here on the Apple Maps. So thought I'd just go ahead and record and touch up on that topic real quick, man. Hey, Jake is gonna get caught off guard, and us brothers, man, we gotta stay alert, because remember, things look sweet, but it's just gonna hit the fan immediately. Shalom.